Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review, so I hope you find this one interesting. This movie is a horror film from South Korea, Korean language English subs, released in the year 2016, directed by Sang Ho-yoon, and this film is called Train to Busan. So Train to Busan is about this man. He lives in Seoul with his young daughter. He had split from his wife. And he's a very unreliable man. He's very selfish. He just thinks about himself and his career, and he kind of neglects his daughter and his wife. And so the daughter is very frustrated with this. She just wants time with him, but he just can't dedicate that time. So on her birthday, the man gives his daughter a present, but she's already got the present. So basically his lack of attention to detail has caused this. So he feels really sorry for her and says, okay, look, what else do you want for your birthday? I'll give you anything. And the girl wants to go and visit her mother in Busan, and to get there they need to go by train. So she says, please give me a ticket to Busan. I'll go alone if you don't want to come with me. But this man is reluctantly accepted this proposal, and they go on to the train in Busan the very next day. But unfortunately this day is going to be a day that they cannot forget, because there is widespread violence throughout the whole of Korea, and this is down to a virus that is spreading very rapidly. And unfortunately for everyone inside this train, the virus is spreading through there as well. So very soon, not only this man and his daughter have to work to survive this onslaught, but also the rest of the surviving passengers. So whether or not they can make it to Busan, which is said to be the only place in South Korea that's safe, that's something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Train to Busan. I was very excited to see this film because a lot of people have hyped this movie, as you would expect from a South Korean production, and it's got 7.7 on IMDb with 18,000 votes, so that is a very good score. And so expectation levels were very, very high. And after I saw this film, I will say that it does have some glaring problems, but overall it's a very, very entertaining film. And if you like the zombie movies, you're going to like this one. This movie, it does show the zombies in much more of a 28 Days Later feel, where they're very quick and they're very ferocious, as opposed to the traditional George A. Romero zombie. Now I actually prefer this style of zombie, the modern zombie, because I think they're a lot more intimidating, and that you feel as though that they are just that ravenous and that desperate to get to you, you can feel all the terror. So that's why 28 Days Later works so well, and that's ultimately why the Dawn of the Dead remake works so well. And so this movie actually feels like a movie that's taking a lot of modern zombie and actually putting it into a South Korean film. So the way that these zombies were acting, it felt like some of World War Z, where they're all stumbling over each other to get to their victims. And then, as I said, you've got that 28 Days Later where they start to turn very quickly. So if you like that kind of thing, I think Train to Busan is definitely for you. I really like the ferocious nature of these zombies. They were just very, very relentless and very vicious. When they caught their prey, they basically ripped them apart. Well, not so much rip them apart, but just bit them, and they felt like rabid animals. So you could actually feel the intimidation coming through the screen. And this movie hits you on a pulse-pounding sort of aspect. It's not so much a traditional horror where you actually feel scared, but you actually feel a lot of adrenaline running through your system, and you feel that you have to get away from these zombies, you have to run. So it's an exercise in the tension through the overall pacing of the film. It's very fast-paced, and it actually makes you feel exhausted just like these main characters. And another thing that Train to Busan has going for it was the fact that you actually cared about these characters. These characters actually had a little bit of time and attention put into them without going over the top with unnecessary character development. So you've got this father, and the father symbolised the man who is selfish, the man who dedicates all his time to something else and neglects his family. And unfortunately it takes an extreme occurrence sometimes to make you wake up to yourself, and it actually brings the true self out. So at the start of the film you think he's a selfish, arrogant twat, but then as the movie goes along, he starts to put himself on the line, not only for his daughter, but also the other people who are trying to avoid this hoard, this oncoming hoard. So you get a little bit of connection with him, and you sense that, yes, he is realising who he is and what he's done in the past, and he's trying to redeem himself. But the tragic nature of the film is that maybe it's too late to redeem himself, and that he'll do anything for his daughter, but why didn't he do this before? Why has it taken such a horrible event to actually connect with his daughter the way he is? And that's something that happens in every day. It's everyday nature, where you've got some parents who are not so close to their children, but when it takes something catastrophic, they start to get that bond. So it does show you that sort of tension, but I like the fact that it didn't preach it too much, and allows you to enjoy the film. And the sole focus of the film is actually a zombie movie, but the fact that it does go into a little bit of character development does give you a connection there. Therefore, when the bad things are happening, it actually gives it that much more suspense. So some of the horror set pieces were fantastic inside this train. I thought the setting was great, very claustrophobic, so you felt that they were all very close together. So the bad guy whereby the zombies were only one step behind them. So if they made a mistake, they were going to be up to the mercy of this horde. And so the tension is always there. I love the fast-paced action sequences. The choreography was great. There's some very good special effects. And overall, it was just a very, as I said, pulsating sort of film. It's a film that does get your heartbeat racing, and it's just an adrenaline ride. So if this sounds like your kind of thing, you're into the action kind of horror, then Train to Busan will be for you. I really like cinematography, and it just very colourful, but at the same time, it actually felt like a film like Dawn of the Dead, or those sorts of movies of the modern zombie era. Unfortunately for me though, there are some negatives to the film. Now the number one negative is the fact that it's not really that different from other zombie films that you've seen, except for the fact it's on a train, and except for the fact that maybe you get a little bit more likability to the characters. But apart from that, it's the run-of-the-mill kind of thing where each character is picked off one by one. There are sad moments where they say goodbye, so it is a little bit melodramatic. And so as far as an incredibly unique experience, then maybe Train to Busan is not for you, because it does go down a very similar formula. And also the fact that it is a very long film. I think it would have been a lot better if it was much shorter, because it is an action-paced, heart-pounding film. But when it goes for a very long time, 2 hours, you start to feel that heart-pacing sort of adrenaline is starting to wear off, and you start to notice it, and it does outstay its welcome by the end, which is a very unfortunate thing for me. So I didn't really like that aspect of it as well. As I said, there's a little bit of melodrama, and some of the editing could have been a little bit better. As far as the attack sequences are concerned, some of them were very good, but some of them seemed a little bit off. And the continuity and the passing over to the next scene was a little bit jumpy. So there were areas that could have been polished up a little bit more. But all in all, it is still a very impressive horror film. If you are a fan of the zombie subgenre, then Train to Busan is essential viewing. But it's not a masterpiece. It's not as good as IMDb and a lot of people make it out to be. But for me, I still enjoyed it for what it was, and as a result of that, I'm going to give Train to Busan 3.5 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.